Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
Unpopular K-pop opinions, because at this point, racism is just a K-pop genre.
1. Scooter Braun stepping down as CEO of Hive America? Oh,
He
please,
is?
don't pop the
We just were talking about him today in one of the reactions.
champagne just yet. Him becoming a senior advisor is a classic case of corporate rebranding with a side of PR spin. He's not out. He's not even demoted. He just changed seats at the same freaking table. Senior advisor is corporate code for still whispering in everyone's ear while cashing fat checks and dodging accountability. This
Yeah,
man's
pretty
not gone.
much.
He's just been politely relocated. No longer the face, but still pulling strings in the shadows. And why now? Why this sudden pivot? Oh gee, could it be because literally everyone has had enough of him? His legacy is a cocktail of backstabbing, shady deals, Zionist controversies, and every artist he's ever managed running.
I don't know, I think she's giving too much credit, because I feel like nobody cares about this guy. I never heard of him until this. I don't think the casual fan really knows who he is, nor cares what he does. I definitely think she's overthinking
but
this
I
whole
think
thing.
when you know about him, you're like, oof.
I mean, oh yeah, I guess, but I don't. Even I don't really know about him. Like, what she's kept every honestly, just her keeps calling him Zionist, but I don't even know what he did.
For the hills, Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande. His name has become synonymous with get this man away from my faves. Hyde knew well he was a PR disaster, but they clung on until it was no longer sustainable. The man was radioactive. Hyde stands, especially armies, have been dragging the company for years over Scooter's involvement. The Hive supports Zionism. Backlash was loud. Even Hive had to drop that half-baked "we don't share Scooter's personal views" statement, which fooled exactly no one. So now, with BTS gearing up for a massive comeback, Hive conveniently announces Scooter is stepping down? That timing smells like a strategic image scrub, a quiet sacrifice to win the fans back before the money machine starts.
Oh, so he's like part of Hype. I thought he was like from the Geffen end. I thought he was only like
Maybe
with
for
Cat's
like the
Eye.
America sector, but since they do go and perform in America,
Yeah.
they do kind of have to connect with him in a
Yeah.
way.
I thought he was just Geffen, because Cat's Eye is like Hype crossover the Geffen. I thought he was of a Geffen part. Oh, okay, interesting.
Printing again. And
Then, if he's part of like Hype, it makes sense, with BTS gearing up that he's kind of gotta go.
let's not pretend Scooter was some genius asset to begin with.
Although, I don't know if his involvement would affect BTS. I feel like if people like BTS for BTS, what does that have to do? Like, how can you not like a group because some sort of CEO is a bad person? Like, to me, it's like, I don't know who's Interscope Records CEO,
See,
what he
that's the
does.
thing.
I don't care.
That's why they moved him, because they don't want you to know who's the face, like to associate them.
Well, let me put it this way: if I knew, I still would listen to every artist, because
It depends until you're put into that position.
His entire tenure at Hive America is just a trail of underwhelming returns and headline headaches. Cat's Eye? That's Geffen's baby. Hive's production system was already robust. What exactly did Scooter do, other than make a few phone calls and make the company look bad in headlines? Literally anyone could have called some producers and made vague promises about global strategy. The man was coasting, not contributing. Now the company's likely just phasing him out the slow, quiet way. Next up, we've got yet another idol tripping face first into the racism Olympics, steamrolling over racial lines like he mistook bubble for a PhD dissertation. And snatching this week's Golden Clown crown is none other than Jun Han, the guitar boy from JYP's Binary Heroes, who decided it was the perfect time to unleash his unsolicited, unscientific TED Talk on genetics, race, and how to Frankenstein together the ultimate human. So what did this Einstein of tone deafness actually say? He started rambling about how black people supposedly have more cells in their ears, which apparently gives them better He started rambling about how black
What if we gather the advantages of each race? White people's ability to break down sugar and black people's physical abilities, and the skilled brains of Asians, Indians. It's said that black people have a lot of cells in their ears, so they have good hearing, and that's why they're good at music. I was really jealous of that. Is that kind of topic also possible? What the fuck are we talking about here? White people's ability to break down sugar? What? Skilled brains of Asians, Indians? What? Skilled brains of Asians? Because your parents force you to school for 20 hours a day, that's skilled brains? That's time put in. Like, look at the culture in Korea. Like, you have to study to get into one of those 2, 3 universities. What has to do with skilled brain? And look at these idols that actually don't go that route. They dumbass. I don't want to insult nobody, but okay.
Black people supposedly have more cells in their ears, which apparently gives them better hearing and makes them good at music, you know. Because talent is just biology and not, I don't know, effort or culture or individual artistry. Then he kept digging, proposing that white people have superior sugar metabolism, black people have great physical abilities, and Asians and Indians are packing all the brains. And yes, he said Asians and Indians, since India is in Africa, Wakanda. Oh, and just to really hammer home how not okay this was, he topped it off by talking about mixing all these racial advantages through genetic engineering like we're building the next Avengers lineup. Throw in a side of stem cell ethics and bam, we're suddenly in eugenics territory. Because yeah, nothing screams healthy public discourse.
And kind of to what I say about Asians having the big brains, right? Here's a proof of one who skipped school, and that's what the comment we get.
Like treating human beings like Pokemon cards with special abilities. First, this was
Get more parts your way at O'Reilly.
stereotyping. Jun Han essentially said black people equals music and strength, white people equals good digestion, Asians equals brains. Congrats, you've just reduced billions of people to a handful of lazy offensive caricatures. That's not the compliment you think it is. That's dehumanization wrapped in pseudoscience. Not every black person sings like Beyonce or dunks like LeBron. And not every white person processes carbs like a Fitbit commercial, so please zip it. Second, the entire premise of let's combine the best traits of each race is literal eugenics cosplay. And in case Jun Han skipped that part of history class, eugenics is a violently racist, dehumanizing ideology that has been used to justify sterilizations, slavery, and systemic oppression for centuries. So when you casually float the idea of creating a best of compilation human based on racial traits, you're not being deep, you're being disgusting. Third, the language was just gross. He referred to East Asians as yellow, a slur, not a descriptor, and treated Indians as if they're some separate species, not part of Asia. That right there? Peak ignorance. It's giving colonial brain rot. And honestly, it's exhausting how Indians constantly have to reassert that yes, they are Asian. As if geography and identity need footnotes every time a K-pop idol opens their mouth. Also, let's not overlook the
I don't know how old he is. We haven't been reacting to
still
extraordinary
immature.
heroes much, and I know we won't be ever again, so that's that. However, I do want to see how JYP handles this. In my opinion, he should be dropped.
casual tone.
Like, I think apology is not
That is
enough.
awful.
Apology is not
So
enough for
bad.
this.
Like,
This has to,
and
he has to be dropped.
you want to know something? When he posted the first one, someone said something to him, but then he continued to post and post and post and post and post.
Apology is not enough for this. He has to get dropped for this. This is not something that apology can resolve.
This wasn't some academic paper. This was posted on Bubble, a platform full of young fans, many of whom probably swallowed this
Wow.
mess without realizing how dangerous it is. This
Like,
Yeah.
at least with, Kiss of Life. Okay,
I'm not doing that.
yeah, I don't know.
This stands on it.
Yeah, this is on its own. This is yeah.
sheer lack of ethical awareness is mind-blowing.
It's not a
You're in a
competition.
position of influence,
Right.
and instead of promoting empathy or understanding, you're spewing pseudoscientific race theory like you're unlocking a cheat code for humanity. Get real. In response to the inevitable backlash,
Like-
Jun Han
He's presenting nonsense as facts. Like he's saying, "Oh, this race has this has this." Like I've never heard being white, never heard that for whatever reason white people have supreme sugar digestion. Where did that come from? I've never heard about black people in their ears. Now I have heard about Asians, but I know that because of just time they put in. The parents, they force them to study hard. Take any other person.
There could be someone who likes to study hard too.
Yeah, like take any other race, people who that study hard, they're gonna achieve the same as Asians. It's just an Asian culture. It's part of the culture that that's the route. So, I mean, if you say about black people are more athletic ability, maybe also because parents push more into athletics too. It's the same thing. It's now about sugar. I don't know where that can and the ears too. What?
and JYP did what K-pop agencies always do when their artists get exposed for being problematic. They scrambled to drop a hasty apology. Jun Han whipped out a handwritten letter saying he was deeply reflecting and admitting his lack of social awareness and historical knowledge. That's cute. But here's the thing. When your ignorance is this dangerous, I didn't know better doesn't cut it. You're not just some kid
Yeah.
fumbling a history quiz. You're a public figure spreading harmful ideas to a massive audience. 2025 is single-handedly proving why companies micromanaging idols every breath was the only thing saving us from witnessing this kind of brain rot in real time. You know how fans used to
Yeah.
whine about idols being too scripted, too polished, too
There
robotic
was a
on socials?
reason.
Yeah, now look at what happens when the leash gets loosened. We're getting racial science fair projects on Bubble, cultural appropriation parades on TikTok, and tone-deaf clownery on live streams weekly. Turns out some of these idols truly need supervision like toddlers. And can we talk about the whole they're young, they didn't finish school excuse? Babes, we are well past that, because rumor has it June Han's actually in university, which, if true, means not only are we dealing with racism, but now we've unlocked the prestige edition, academically enrolled racism. What curriculum out there is letting you walk out thinking let's mix racial traits to build the ultimate superhuman is an acceptable conversation starter? If this man's really in higher education, then somebody please check what kind of education, because clearly it's not teaching him basic human decency. Like, was there a most racist idol Olympics announced this year and we just missed the broadcast? Because
Honestly, it sounds like it. Sounds like this year, 2025, they're competing who can be more racist, and we're only half year in, so I want to see what comes up next.
I'm tired.
2025 has been a highlight reel of everything offensive under the sun. Cultural appropriation?
I'm just
Check.
trying to be here.
Mocking accents? Yup. Slinging slurs like they're part of the lyrics? Absolutely. And now freaking eugenics. It's no longer just a competition of who's racist this week. It's who can serve the most exotic form of racism like this is some twisted tasting menu. We've got idols serving casual blackface. Outdated
I'm sure
colonial
there's gonna
terminology.
Be people that's gonna diminish this and say, "Oh, it was nothing."
No, this was bad. This was next level of bad.
Anti-Asian microaggressions from other Asians, and now this freak show of racial optimization. The wildest
the
part is, it's
self-hatred
only
too
halfway
is
through the year
bad.
and we've already filled a whole bingo card of problematic behavior. At this point, idols are either competing in racism or just collecting all the isms like infinity stones. Either way, someone better snatch the mic before they open their mouths again. Because if this is what free speech in idol land looks like, maybe it's time for the social media muzzles to come back in style. 3. The Boyz' ex-member Ju Haknyeon has now been officially cleared of the alleged paid explicit services scandal that torched his career overnight. The police straight up
there
said
we
there's no
go.
solid proof, no case, no charges, which
That's what I was saying. You cannot prove what they allege he did. There is no
But the
way.
damage has been done.
And that's why he should sue everybody for slander, because there is no way you can prove prostitution after a fact, unless somebody sets you up with or the other involved party is gonna say, yeah, I did it. Other than that, this is not something you you can't prove it. Like, it's not something you can prove, period.
was to be expected. The so-called evidence was nothing more than a
Like,
messy
even when the cops do it, it's always a setup, like undercover. Like, you cannot go, like, it doesn't work like that. That's not something you can prove after the fact.
rumor dumped from an online article. The police can't just open an investigation because some random netizen reported him without any actual proof, but this means absolutely nothing. The company didn't drop him because of the paid services rumors. They didn't even mention those. They dropped him because he was seen dating someone controversial. That alone was enough to set off the corporate alarm bells. What's wild is how fast they moved. Like, the man's hiatus didn't even last 48 hours. They barely let the ink dry on the scandal articles before terminating his contract. No pause, no reflection period, no wait-and-see strategy, just instant cancellation. And that's the suspicious part. They could have done what companies usually do, issue a vague apology, shove him into hiatus, gauge the media fallout and milk the sympathy arc.
Honestly, I think the company was just looking for a reason to drop him.
But he was the
gives him-
popular one.
Yeah, but he could have been like, maybe he was not worth the trouble.
Oh,
'Cause, you
the
know-
popular one
Yeah, but like you see,
that brings all the tickets.
yeah, because he was the one who was sneaking out of their, hotel. So if this is like a continuous thing here, he's just like
Oh, he
keeps
doesn't
sneaking
know
out,
anything.
doesn't follow the rules. Obviously,
He had this coming. Pretty much,
Right,
he
I-
built this up and set himself up for that.
I think this is the straw that broke the
Yeah,
camel's back.
he
I think
self-sabotaged
yeah,
himself.
that's why they acted so quickly that, okay, we had
Yeah.
enough. This is it. We can't do this anymore. I think that's what happened.
Mhm.
But nope, they pulled the plug immediately. Which begs the question, what the heck do they know that we don't?
Yeah,
They were tired of that.
I don't think it even has to be that, oh, they know something that we don't. I think it's just, as I said, the straw
And
that
they're-
broke the camel's back, and that's it. It doesn't have to be, like, it could be something they know more, yes, but it also could be that there's so many little things over time that adds up that you just, like, even, like, in the relationship, sometimes, like, you can break up over, like, the dumbest thing, but that dumbest thing is not really the reason. The reason is because it just kept building up to a point, pressure point of you, like, okay, this is it, this is too much, I can't. And it might be something that, oh, you didn't put your dirty socks into a bin or whatever, and you break up over
Yeah.
that, but in reality it's not really about the socks. It's about all the 25 other things that you keep doing and pushing those buttons.
They're hiding something way bigger behind the scenes and wanted to cut ties before it leaks. Or they're just using him as a scapegoat because they're sick of the boys dragging the group's reputation through scandal after scandal. And let's be honest, the timing couldn't be worse, with everything else going on, the dating rumors, the smoking, the clubbing, the underage drinking whispers. Maybe the company just reached their limit. Maybe they looked at the group's image and said, we can't afford one more headline. And now Ju Haknyeon's out here threatening legal action and calling them liars? So either he's delusional, or they really did stab him in the back. Either way, this isn't just about him anymore. It's about the group as a whole. The boys are clearly on a sinking ship, and no amount of comeback schedules or fan service is gonna plug those holes. I don't think they're renewing.
Now, I think I don't know if he's gonna win the claim against the company, because we did in one of the videos they kind of made the case. I don't remember whose video it was.
Code of conduct.
Made the case that code of conduct, he kind of breached it.
Yeah, and I think he has a track record to say
Yeah.
he's like a continuous perpetrator of
Yeah,
the code
because
of conduct.
to me, especially if they were like on a work
Yeah.
trip, they're on a
Yeah.
work time, and he snuck out, I think that's sufficient
Mhm.
argument to drop him. But I definitely think he will win against the dispatch or whoever reported about the whole prostitution thing.
Mhm.
Anybody reporting that, I think he
Yeah.
will win the defamation against
Yeah,
those
that's
people.
defamation.
That's definitely that is the even in the states that would be defamation. That is, if you say somebody did something like that
Mhm.
and they actually didn't do it, that's defamation anywhere in the world.
Ain't no
That's
way,
to my
with all the
knowledge.
drama, 100 will likely let them go once the contract ends. I just wonder if another company will pick them up or if they'll end up going their separate ways, but that's just me. 4. From is 9 are back with Like You Better only 6 months after leaving Hybe. Expectations were
From it, look at this. It says from is 5.
high after Supersonic, but they delivered a summer hit. While
It was good. Like You Better was good. We don't listen to much from us now. Not too familiar. Only know Supersonic. This was really good. They really surprised me. They did a great job.
every other girl groups out here mumbling over recycled synth loops and pretending minimalism equals depth. Like You Better said F subtlety and lit the whole formula on fire. It's brash. It's stompy. It's soaked in 80s power pop steroids with chugging guitars and a beat that sounds like it was built to echo through a packed stadium. Not a coffee shop. The chorus might not be winning innovation awards. It's high, a little bratty, maybe even a bit obvious, but who cares? When the delivery hits like a chant at a stadium and the hook punches through like a sugar rush declaration, originality becomes secondary to impact. What makes this thing work isn't elegance or restraint, it's conviction. It's loud and unashamed and fun. The kind of summer pop that doesn't ask for approval, it demands volume. Finally, a track that doesn't just want to be cute. And speaking of quality, let's talk about One Us new comeback X. It seems
We can stop it and react to this.
Okay. Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible.